Good evening to everyone gathered here for the sixth day of AICTE sponsored Atal Faculty Development Program. Now I welcome our program coordinator Dr. S. Priya, Professor and Head Department of Electrical Electronics Engineering to welcome the gathering. Priya ma'am?
Yeah. Aditi, can you able to hear me?
Yes ma'am.
Yeah. My name is Vivekanandha from here. I would like to welcome you all for this sixth day of AICTE sponsored Atal FDP accreditation and outcome-based pedagogic principles for effective learning. Today is the sixth day. Actually, we are going to end up our online session. On this occasion, I would like to welcome our honorable chief guest, Dr. Vijay Kumar sir, principal of Vivekanandha College of Engineering for Women from Thiruchengode. Sir is the right person to explain you about the accreditation process as well as outcome-based education, and also the today's topic is, the revised Bloom's taxonomy. So, Sir is going to explain you about revised Bloom's taxonomy. Then, what is the role of your revised Bloom's taxonomy in framing the keyword statement, as well as when you are setting up the question paper, how the Bloom's action works takes a major role play that and all sir is going to cover today. So that session is going to be really useful for us. I once again, on behalf of Ahmed deemed to be university as well as Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, I would like to welcome our honorable chief guest, Dr. Vijay Kumar sir. I welcome you, sir, for this FDP. Sir, kindly unmute your mic, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Priya ma'am. It's pleasure to discuss with my teaching fraternity, ma'am. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you ma'am. Thank you for your warm welcome. Now I am very glad to introduce our session chief guest Dr. K.C.K. Vijay Kumar, a principal Vivekanandha College of Engineering for Women, Thiruchengode. He completed his PhD from Coimbatore Institute of Technology. He is having more than 28 years of experience in teaching and research, and also published more than 75 articles in referred international and national journals. He has to his credit of 2 projects funded by Government of India and also published 6 patents. He is a lifetime member in Indian Society for Technical Education, New Delhi, Institution of Engineers, Kolkata, Institution of Chartered Engineers, Kolkata, Association of Machines and Mechanisms, and also in Indian Space Science Engineers. He has also got appreciation from VM Ware for Center of Excellence. Once again, I welcome you, sir, to deliver the session address.
Yeah, thank you, Rashri ma'am. Can you able to see my PPT, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. First of all, thank you to Ahmed University for giving an opportunity to share my views with all the teaching fraternity members. Hello, this is Professor Vijay Kumar. I request you to please lend your ears for about another 60 minutes or so that whatever the things which I learned, particularly on this revised Bloom taxonomy of learning, I'm going to present and as well as share with you. And first of all, this is the outline. There are 2 disclaimers. One is from my health side. Past a couple of days, I couldn't feel comfortable and got fever also. So anything voice, if you are able to not follow, please stop me so that I can repeat. And the second disclaimer is whatever the slide and jargons and acronyms that I have described here, it is all we taken from various resources. And please let's join together and we will have a journey of seeing the facts happening around us, particularly focused on revised Bloom taxonomy. Here, this cartoon, probably you might have wonder why I put this cartoon here is, he is Mr. Kuri. He is going to travel with us. He will ask a couple of questions during the session so that I'm trying to answer it. hopefully that will answer the questions started in the minds, and particularly the organizer who has chosen me to discuss this particular topic to you. So the thing is Bloom's taxonomy. Before getting to this, let me brief a small story. This happened maybe about 5-6 years back when my kids, my son and daughter, studied the 6th or 8th standard. At that time, I happened to found one word called hard question. My daughter, elder daughter, she came and said, "This question is very hot." I worried, what is that hard question? Then he said, I don't know. If you want, we can refer my book and we can let you know. Then I just browsed the book. It's get a hot question. Of course, Central Board of Secondary Education, School Education, CBSE board, they put a hard question. Then just I referred various pages. Finally, I landed up with the called high order thinking skill question. Oh, earlier I thought a hard question means if the people can't able to answer the question is hard, right? Or we can't see the question in that perspective. So that is what normally we thought that. But as a parent, I found that this is something very interesting. Then I explored further. Incidentally, we have also been asked for go for an outcome-based education. So this is how I land up in this particular area. I am still exploring. So today, let me see how I mean, what all are the information that I gather according on this particular the landscape of the learning assessment is concerned. Just I am going to give with another couple of minutes. The question is, the Bloom's taxonomy comes only when we talk about the outcome. I think one session which is elaborately discussed about what is the difference between output and as well as outcome, as far as that is particularly teaching education, I mean education process is concerned. Earlier we used to measure only the pass, fail or otherwise marks, that we call it as an output. But here this assessment, it's not like seeing the marks alone. We want to see the outcome. So let me see what is that outcome, what is that the Bloom's taxonomy and all later. Before that, I will quickly cover maybe about a certain percentage of PPT I am dedicated to understand the holistic view where this Bloom's taxonomy is coming into the picture. So I supposed to cover the OBE part, that is outcome-based education, which is already being well covered by the one of our earlier speaker. Thanks to her. But however, as I said, in order to set a context, just I would like to maybe review the things related with OBE. So everyone knows that OBE is the student-centric learning methodology. That is entire structure of curriculum, assessment, and the practices. It is all focused with respect to student perspective. So that is what the OBE speaks. It's clearly picture of what the students able to do after pursuing the course, maybe subject or the matters. So that is what the underlying myth about the outcome. Accordingly, the curriculum, delivery, and assessment pattern has to be planned. Normally, teacher teaches. There ends the matter as far as the faculty is concerned. But this OBE talk about, it is not the end duty. I mean, the end duty of the faculty is not just teach the concept to the student, whether whatever the teaching happened inside the classroom reached the student minds in terms of the ability to do the things. That is what the thing. It is not like teachers, how the learners learns. So this is about the OBE. In this OBE, these are the 5 important points. Probably you might have aware that is learning outcome, curriculum coherence, program outcome, curriculum, then assessment tool. So here in this, do you know where this Bloom's taxonomy comes? Certainly, it is in the assessment tool. But this is earlier. This is the entire teaching process is one-dimensional. It is not like a closed loop system. It is an open loop. As soon as the subject is being allotted, prepare the material and go to the classes with the teaching aids. Whatever the materials available, we will transform to them. We will demonstrate, and at the end of the semester, maybe middle of the semesters as well, we will conduct a test and we will get the mark. We will set the benchmarking, that is a pass mark. If this candidate get the above marks with respect to benchmark is concerned, they call it as a pass. Below that, fail. So this is what normally happened. But this OBE talk about Plan, Do, Check, Act. That is, the outcome is expected out of the course. That is the first box here in this picture I have shown. Okay, so that is what all are the mission, vision expected, then accordingly course outcome and program outcome. This has to be prepared with respect to the input that you can get it from the various stakeholders, that is external stakeholders, and as well as the ability of the student with respect to that particular level. The next is teaching learning. This is nothing is new. This is very, very same as like the open system. But however, if it is not effective in terms of learning ability of the student is concerned, then accordingly it has to be changed, improved. The next is the assessment. Here, institutional level assessment, program-wise assessment, or course-wise assessment. All this assessment, we will measure the outcome of the student learning. There, the Bloom's taxonomy is coming. The next is the improvement. That is, after checking, planning is first stage, and the do is second stage, and the third is check, and finally act. That is, whether after evaluating of the students' learning, is it adequate or not? If it is adequate, then no problem. If it is not adequate, that has to be fed to the outcome expected, brainstorm it accordingly. It has to be given to the teaching learning. So there are three major questions as far as OBE is concerned. One is skill set, the ability of the student that they are doing, and the guide, that is the teaching learning process, and finally evaluation. So this is simply depicted in this picture. That is, earlier there is only one line, that is the left side of the education process is an input, then right side is the test output. That's all. But this OBE is, that evaluation comes. That is the assessment is based on the ability of the student, not with respect to only marks. It is the ability of the student. So this is the crux of the OBE. And these are some of these jargons. Just I will rush through it. I don't want to bore many of the terminology which is very familiar to all of you. The course means a theory, practical, or theory come practical thing. Maybe like operation research or electrical technology or engineering mathematics or whatever it is. The next is course outcome, the statement that describes the significant essential learning that the learners have achieved at the end of the course. The expected outcome after completing the course or after studying the course. That is what the course outcome. The next is program. Program is nothing but a degree. Earlier days we used to refer as branches or department like that. But degree is very specific mention as far as the program is concerned. The program outcome is similar to course outcome, but this is with respect to the specialization. After completing the graduation, with respect to that particular branch, whether the outcome is reached or not, or what is the ability of the student or outcome of the student that we can expect after completing the course. This particular program, that is what the PO. This is purely aligned with the graduate attributes, which I going to give within another couple of slides. You will see. Then next, PEOs is the program educational objective, program specific objective. The difference between these two is PEO is after 5 years That means after graduation, what is the outcome that we can expect from the graduate? That is what PEO. And the program specific outcome is, while doing the course, what would be the ability of the student? That is a major difference between these two. The graduate attributes is we are just almost all the people who are joined here must aware this particular fact is we are just adopted from the Washington Accord attributes of USA. There are about 12 attributes that we call it as a graduate attributes. This is what the graduate attributes, that is engineering knowledge, problem analysis, design and development of solutions, conduct investigation of complex problem, modern tool usages, maybe like AICTE tool, and then engineer and the society, environment and sustainability, ethics, individual and teamwork, communication, that is language, predominantly English is the language of engineering, and project management and finance, then lifelong learning. So these all are the 12, the program outcome, rather graduate attributes, which we are following as far as the engineering institution is concerned. And as a holistically, this is the pictorial representation, how the academic institutions take care of all these jargons, like started from PEO to PSO and PO, CO, and all these things. So now specifically we'll come to the course outcome. As I told you earlier, we will go to the classes and the teaching learning process will be done. Maybe we will ask a couple of questions to get the feedback from the student, and based on the doubt clarification and students views, we will cover the syllabus, and we will give the model question paper, and we will conduct the test. We will set the pass mark, and whoever pass is we call it as a pass, and whoever got a less than mark is fail. So there is a matter, it is one directional, but this outcome is the two directional, that is whether the student learned the concept or not. How we can measure the learning objectives. So that is the main theme of this particular session. We're going to cover later within this 1 or 2 slides. So learning goals and objective is to be mentioned first, then it can be measured later. So what is the learning outcome is, what is the learner, that is what is the ability of learner after attending the teaching, attending the classes, maybe instructional classes or demonstration classes or whatever it may be. What would be the ability before attending that particular session, class? Maybe one class, or it may be comprised of 45 periods of a semester, or maybe 60 periods of an year. That is a different. But the simple thing is, what is the ability before the attending the session, after the attending the session? So this is what the learning outcome. How we can assess this particular learning outcome is going to be the method of the outcome that we can going to measure. So the course outcome should be specific, measurable, achievable. The measurable in the sense the performance component, the quantum of the ability. The next is specific in the sense the condition of the component, and the third is the criterion, that is achievable component. So these three we have to take care while writing the course outcome. Then only the assessment pattern will be successful. I'm repeating, the course outcome, the writing of the course outcome is very, very critical when compared with the assessment pattern. Assessment is very mathematical way that we can do that. But before that, the course outcome play a very vital role. We should not make our job just like cut and paste it. It is, we have to understand how we are going to measure, how we are going to specifically know the outcome of that is learning of the student, and whether it is achievable or not. So all these things, it is very simply, I can put it here is a performance, condition, and the criterion. Let me explain with a small example also. The performance is concerned. That means what is the expected ability after attending the course. The condition component is what will be provided to make the student learn, or to make the that is, the learner ability, increase the doable of learners. So that is what the thing which I am going to explain here. Yeah. So for example, write a customer reply letter with no spelling mistakes by using a word processor. This is the CO based question. Here, where is the performance point? Where is the criterion point? Where is the condition? I'm repeating. Write a customer reply letter with no spelling mistakes by using a word processor. So this is the CO, course outcome. How we can make a course outcome with respect to this particular case is concerned. That is, you have to write a letter without spelling mistake, of course, using the modern technology, that is word processor, maybe a computer, or it may be a mobile phone. So these are the three areas: performance, criteria, conditions. So performance is what we are going to make our student is, student can able to write a customer reply letter. So that is the performance expected after attending the sessions, right? So performance is writing the letter. Next criteria is no spelling mistakes. So that is the second point regarding the learning ability of the student with respect to this particular case. The condition is using the word processor. I'm repeating. CO components comprise of three things: performance, criteria, conditions. For example, customer reply letter with no spelling mistake by using a word processor. So here performance is writing a letter. Criteria is without any spelling mistakes, of course. Then the condition is using a word processor. The next is coming to the problem. That means actual kind of a issue that we are facing as a faculty. So for example, use the numerical methods for a solve one-dimensional, two-dimensional ODE, that is differential equation, and computer numerical integration. So here, I will give a couple of seconds so that you can understand this particular case. Here in this CO, the course outcome, what is the performance is the student ability to solve the first and second order differential equation, of course. The next is the criteria is compute the numerical integration. The condition is using the numerical methods. So this is what the CO. I hope you all understood, right? Right, Mr. Curie? So just this is about the where this Bloom taxonomy is going to play a vital role. I have given all this glimpse of information about OBE and finally end up with the CO. Now, how we can measure or assess the learning outcome of the student? Of course, the CO, measurement of COs. So assessment is not based on marks, certainly. It is based on the outcome. There are several methods. It is not only Bloom's taxonomy. It is, of course, Bloom's taxonomy being described and open to public in the year 1956, almost 66 years back. This particular technology is being introduced and spread across the entire globe. Apart from this, there are Solo, Fink, Gangi, Marangano, Kendall. All these people are given a different assessment pattern to assess the outcome of learning outcome of the student. But however, across the globe, widely, this Bloom's taxonomy is being recommended after a due research and as well as application experiences. So what is this Bloom's taxonomy? It is a hierarchical model Use it for classification of the teaching learning objectives or outcome of this student or learner. So based on complexity and as well as simplicity, specificity also. This being described by Benjamin Samuel Bloom, 1956. I will share at the end of the session this paper, the book written by this Bloom during 1956. This talks about very simple, my dear friends. This is only very, very simple. If you remember this particular slide and one more slide later, the Bloom's taxonomy it talks about CAP. That is, CAP C refers for cognitive, A refers for affective, and P refers for psychometer. Cognitive in the sense the knowledge and development of intellectual skills. That is what the cognitive, of course, name itself implies that. Affective in the sense the feelings, values and appreciations, enthusiasm, interest and all that. The psychometer is nothing but psychomotor in the sense it is all with respect to the actuations, that is skill, manual task, physical movements, all this. I think next slide you will give a different thing. Cognitive in the sense head, the affective in the sense heart, psychomotor is in the sense hand. So we are going to assess the cognitive, that is head part. We won't give much importance for the heart as well as that is affective domain and psychomotor domain hand. This is the another picture I got it from other source. That is learning assessment can be described into three domains: cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor. In that cognitive domain, further classified into cognitive processes, then knowledge categories. The knowledge category is, that the factual, conceptual, things like that. But whereas cognitive process is concerned, this is what people are used to say, maybe like K1, K2, K3, K4, K5, K6, or C1, C2, C3, like that. This is what the main slide that you should remember. Of course, next slide too. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So this is what the revised Bloom's taxonomy. We will say, I will tell you later which is revised and which is old as far as Bloom taxonomy is concerned. So this box is the Bloom's taxonomy revised assessment pattern through which we can measure the cognitive skills, that is the ability of the student learning after attending the classes. That means after attending the course. So just I give the gist of knowledge. Of course, this is all not being followed, even though it's one among the branch of cognitive pattern of assessing the cognitive domain of assessing the learning outcome. That is, as I said, the factual knowledge, that is words, numerals, signs, pictures, etc., etc. So next is conceptual knowledge. This is about the various phenomena, entities, the categories. For example, the classifications or relationship between one with other, like that. Like for example, here I given like force, acceleration, velocity. What is the difference between all these things? If they able to understand between these three, then they will have a conceptual knowledge. So like that we can assess. And the third is the procedural knowledge, like mathematical form or the algorithm form or tabular form. When we put step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, like that, maybe like the truth table in the logarithmic expressions, logic expressions. So all these things are procedural knowledge. And the last is on this, that is metacognition knowledge. All the three above together, the ability to assess the skills and knowledge of learning by own, then this is called as a knowledge. All these four pattern of cognitive domain is not being followed or recommended. Only the Bloom's taxonomy, that is the cognitive processes, is being recommended. Here in this one particular picture, I'm depleting two aspects, and that is old and as well as new, which is given in the top. That is L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, L6. All this is old. And given in the steps is, excuse me. Okay. Just laptop power problem. Yeah, sorry. So whatever the given in the top side is that is knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, evaluation. It is all old Bloom's taxonomy, which is being advised during 1956. During 2001, it is being revised, and we call it as a revised Bloom's taxonomy. Knowledge is being revised as a remember. Comprehension is being revised as understand. Application is being revised as apply. Analysis is revised as analyze. Synthesis is being revised as a create. Evaluation is being revised as a evaluate. So these are interchanged, but however, the same six things is being recommended for assessing the student's ability, that is learning. Here in this L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, L6, or rather K1, K2, K3, K4, K5, K6. First three, we call it as a lower order thinking skill. And next three, that is L4, L5, L6, or otherwise K2, K4, K5, K6, is called as a higher order thinking skill, HOTS. So this is what I looked maybe about 6-7 years back. Sorry. Okay, so now we will see elaborately what is this remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create one by one. So for example, first we'll start with the K1, remembering. Earlier it is called as knowledge in the old Bloom taxonomy. Now it is called as remembering or remember. That is remembering the terminology, remembering the specific facts, conventions, trends and consequences in terms of a graph or something like that. We call it as trends and the consequences. Then the classifications and the categories, methodology, principles and generalizations. All these things we refer as a remember. If this student remember all these things, then he has we can assess him as he learned the outcome of the student is adequate. So how we can measure using these words, that is, when we put a question with these words, we could able to measure his remembrance. For example, arrange, define, describe, recognize, relate, name, order, state, match, list, all these things. So when we put these action words, this will show the way to, or process the way to understand the learning outcome of the student or learning outcome of the learners.
Sir, Vijay Kumar sir.
Yes, sir.
I think Jagadishwari madam has raised her hand. I think she is having some question. Maybe we can.
Sir,
our questions will be last, huh?
Yes, sir. Because
Okay.
In the presentation, I could see only presentation, sir. I can't see the whether.
Okay,
people raise
okay,
the
sir.
question
Fine,
or
sir.
not,
Fine,
right?
sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you for understanding.
Right.
Okay, instantly, I'm just to talk about the K2 understanding also. Earlier, it is being comprehension. Here, action, the comprehension, that is understanding, is the translation or summarization or extrapolation. Anything is, we call it as an understanding. So here, the action words are classify, convert, defend, describe, discuss, distinguish, explain, all these things. Okay. But one thing we should remember, one strong advice is, certain times one single verb can be used for different levels as well. It depends on how we are forming the questions. That is, how we are choosing the words to, form the questions. So that is very tricky. So that depends on. It is not simply only because of the one particular word we can say this belonging to this particular level and all that. The next is apply, that is a K3 or L3. This is like a name itself is easily understand that whatever the principle, concept, method, techniques, procedures, theories, any informations, whether it can be applied to the real-time cases, maybe actual cases, or what is that, theoretical cases. So apply, change, choose, compute, demonstrate, discover, all these things. So these all are the action verb more suitable for this particular criteria, level, Bloom taxonomy level. So next is analyze. Earlier it is being analysis. Now we call it as analyze. This is students try to learn, try to apply the learning outcome, learning in terms of the recognizing the hypothesis. And finally, they have to make a statement whether this particular thing is right. This is what, when we apply this particular concept, this is what the outcome of the concept, the analyze, right? Maybe like we would say the quantification of problems, all the problematic, we used to say problematic subject, right? That is problems. When we apply these values into the formula, and what is finally the answer is. So like that, we can say these are K for analyze. Analyze, appraise, break down, calculate, categorize, compare, contrast, diagram, differentiate, and all that. The next is evaluate. This is a type of evaluating, that is checking, critiquing, detecting, experimenting, judging, monitoring, testing, all these things. So this is under UG category. This is really high order thinking type of Bloom's taxonomy assessment. Maybe this can be PG level, or in the higher expectations of the student is expected, then we can go up to this level, K5 and K6, using this action verb apprise, argue, compare, conclude, contrast, and these things. So next is last level is create, that is evaluate. Earlier, now the revised Bloom taxonomy, it is called as a create. So, for example, drawing elements from many sources and putting them together in a new structure, producing of unique communication with a different thinking, or creative writing, skill writing. All these things are own way of presenting the ideas, statements, and all that. So this we can do it either right using these action verbs like arrange, assemble, categorize, collect, combine, explain. Explain is coming in the first level also, here also, as I said earlier. So these all are the list of action words. Probably we can use it, but it is not like a quick fix solution. It depends on how you are making the question, that is assessment. So this is about the sample action verbs. I think we'll have a couple of slides on these action words. So one is lower order thinking and higher order thinking. In the lower order thinking, first three levels: remember, understand, apply. Higher order thinking: analyze, evaluate, and create. So generally, how the people are assessing the course outcome of the student using these words more predominantly. So that is what these slides which I have gone through and I found maybe we can have a look on these areas also. So like remember means define, describe, list, state, match, tabulate, record, label, all that. Understand means explain and all that. Just now I have given caution. We should not thought that one word is always referring to one particular level. It depends on how you are using the word, where you are using the words, and how you are making the question. So this is the old Bloom taxonomy wheel. That is the center circle represent the domains of cognitive skills. That is knowledge. That is nothing but remember, comprehension, understand, application, apply, analyze, then synthesis and evaluation, we interchange it. That is in the new form. So that is a domain, cognitive domain. The next is the verbs used and followed by the assessment pattern. It is all already being tried it, but assessment pattern and as well as action verbs, it is all changed. You can see here in this wheel also, there are a few words which we can found it in the other areas also. That is, for example, when we talk about the remembering thing is concerned, these all are the action words. How we are doing this is assessment is, for example, when we make a student to read, giving an exercise to the student, and after that we can give a paper and ask them to write whatever they remember. So like that, this we can exercise being driven, like maybe TV shows or YouTube videos or any videos, recordings, events, and all that. And similarly, the other cases as well, other cognitive skills, that is comprehension in the sense understand level. This is an action verb for that level. And for example, if you want to understand or assess the student, we can ask them to give the graph or give an outline or a diagrammatic representation, whatever they learned, all that. So here in the third apply also, as I said, the diagram comes. Okay, so we can make use of whatever the process is available, pattern is available, accordingly we can try. This is one image that I get it from the net, that is the wheel which describes the Bloom taxonomy. Of course, this is the old Bloom's taxonomy. Yeah. So next is normally how this assessment pattern is being done is the assessment method K1, K2, K3. Normally we will do it either continuous internal assessment or semester internal in the examinations. Due to time constraint, the K4, K5, K6 in general, okay, please note, in general, K4, K5, K6 is not that much accommodative. But in the higher level, that is when the students, the learners' maturity attained, that means over the years, maybe third year or final year, we can go with the theory courses with the K4, K5, K6 questions. That is, many of the people used to say open-ended questions is being asked in the question. So all these things are like a K4, K5, K6 level questions. But in the undergraduate, maybe first year or second year, we will restrict our knowledge level. That is, Bloom's taxonomy level expected is up to K3. So this is what normally being followed in many institutions. So just I am described here. So K5, K5, 6 is being followed in the projects, mini projects, internship, individual or team works, demonstrations and all that. We will ask them to do this. So ask them. We can assess the students' learning outcome through these four K4, K5, K6. So this is being described here. So fixed hour examinations normally recommending with respect to remember, understanding, apply, and analysis. Evaluating, creating normally is not being done. But certain cases, for example, when for example, in terms of design of, entire paper is talk about the design, then those cases we can go with, creating or suggesting a model. After due evaluation, we can go up to K6 level. But it purely depends on the nature of the subject and the time duration and the in general ability of the student. So this is another activity assessment methods based on with respect to the various Bloom's taxonomy level. So for example, tutorial write-ups that we can easily assess the understand and apply. Of course, remember is very simple, which is very small pen and paper. We can ask the student to, we can assess the student level. Then other than K1, this glimpse can be useful. This is one way we can assess the student. Like the practical experiment test, student seminar, case studies, oral presentation, guest lecture, visits, survey analysis, workshop, hands-on training, and any particular task is being given and the students are doing it. So all these things that we can do, measuring the various Bloom taxonomy level. So finally, before I'm completing, I try to give an example with a single case so that people will understand what is this K1, K2, K3. Hopefully, it will be helpful. As I said earlier, I'm also exploring various possibility to augmenting the knowledge that I learned over a period of time. So this is one way of assessing myself. So, for example, when I take the Kirchhoff law, of course, I'm not an electrical man, I'm a mechanical man. Just for the sake of example, this program is being organized by electrical department. So I think this is a more suitable area wherein I can use the example from the EEE electrical. So Kirchhoff law, remembering in the sense, when you put the questions like state the Kirchhoff current law, then this is directly question just to recollect or we can assess the remembering aspects of the student. The similar thing when we want to assess the understanding of this Kirchhoff law, then we can use the describe thing, that is describe about the conservation of energy by Kirchhoff law. So just I am giving the questions only. Hope you will understand. Want of time, just I am putting the questions. So next is K3, the same Kirchhoff law. I have used solve the following electrical circuit and find the value of I using Kirchhoff law. So, because they have to apply the formula, that is law of, that is Kirchhoff law. So by using that, if they are able to apply, then we can understand that this particular learner have an ability to apply. The last, next is analyze is same Kirchhoff law. Action verb used is calculate. Calculate the current in the 10 ohm resistance. Use Kirchhoff law and the circuit is being given. So in this circuit, what could be the current that can flow in 10 ohms resistance? So That means they have to analyze it. What all are the quantum of current is flowing in the various resistor, and they asked it 10 ohm resistor, what is the current flowing. So next is Kirchhoff law is again same for evaluating the Bloom's taxonomy is by using the two different, two action verb like explain and determine. So explain Kirchhoff law, and after that determine the current supplied by the battery in the circuit shown in this figure. So partly they have to explain the Kirchhoff laws, and next is you have to know the current supplied by the battery. So this is what the evaluation of the Bloom's taxonomy evaluation in the same Kirchhoff law. The next is last is creating. That is, as I said, it's a model, that is develop, design. Here, develop a mathematical model of an electrical system shown below and design the state space representation of the system. So I have used a simple Kirchhoff law for K1, K2, K3, K4, K5, K6. Remember, understand, apply, analysis, evaluate, and finally create. So this is what example I have used. So in this presentation, I talked about Bloom's taxonomy levels, revised Bloom's taxonomy. Of course, I have touched course outcome, program educational objectives, program specific outcome, outcome-based education. Top notch is that. Then lower order thinking skill, and as well as higher order thinking skill. Okay. Yeah, 1 minute. Battery low. Yeah, and this is what I said. Book written by Bloom in the year 1956, the Handbook of Cognitive Domain. I happen to get it from the net. Of course, authored by many, but first author is Benjamin Bloom. So next is the 2001 revised Bloom's taxonomy by Anderson and Grathwell, a taxonomy for learning and teaching and assessing the student learning outcomes. So before completing, I will give a time to ask the questions by the fellow participants. So over to organizers, we can ask our participant to ask the questions. Yeah.
Participants, do you have any queries? Please ask.
I think Jagadishwari ma'am has raised a question. Ma'am, ask the hand.
Jagdishwari madam, are you there in the line?
Sorry. So till the people ask question, let me complete the 2 slides so that I can stop the presentation, right, ma'am?
Sir, before starting this question,
Yeah.
like, see, we have the revised Bloom's taxonomy. There was not a much change in that, only just shifting of this thing. What was the necessity of changing it? Is there any big change in those things, or just like that they changed it?
That is regarding you are talking
revised and old one.
Old and new, right, sir?
Yeah, correct, sir.
Yeah. According to my exploration, sir, I may wrong also. If it's wrong, please you can correct me. Over a period of time, it is not being properly implemented widely. Then they found this way it could be better. For example, when we say comprehension is a little tougher when compared with the understand, isn't it, sir? And similarly, knowledge is the old terminology they used instead of remember. So they thought when we change this, probably that's have a greater impact. Maybe, for example, 1956 to 2001, there won't be any much takers when you talk about the OBE. Okay, when 2001, 2010, it is being adopted by. I mean, it is not adopted actually. It is being recommended by the upper accreditation council as an OBE assessment pattern, right, sir? So I thought that might be the reason. Okay. Is that anything if you want to add?
No.
See, for example, synthesis and all that. Synthesis and all that. It is all. I think that itself needs certain, cognitive skills to understand. Right, sir.
See, my another question is,
yes.
Okay, somebody has forced us, okay, use Bloom's taxonomy and all. By doing this, by forcing a teacher or somebody, are we not restricting his innovativeness or something like that? See, now actually, to tell you frankly, in earlier days and all, people never used to bother, correct, na? So what they used to test what student knows, fine.
Yeah, I
but
understand.
Now this outcome-based education and all, like restricted, you have to set the question paper like this only. If the word is not matching, no, you do not know how to set the. Is it? I don't know in general.
Sir, actually, I'm sorry, sir. Actually, with respect to this, till FDP is concerned, I can't answer your query.
Yeah, understood. I know it, but general.
However, I will share it based on my almost 29 years of experience with teaching fraternity. Okay, you are very right in terms of the time consumption and things like that. For example, I don't know how much the pain every individual is taking care in terms of making all this procedural step to assess the student or learning ability of the student, right, sir? If it is being done by the separate mechanism, right, the person who is teaching need not assess the student. That means need not give that what is the CO and all that. So there must be some separate mechanism for assessing the student without disturbing the intellectual minds. The people who are going to impart the technical skill to the next generations or student community is concerned, they should not free from this. I mean, they should not held with all these numbers, right? Acts and verbs and all that. So I certainly agree with you, sir. But I don't know. And similarly, the other thing is the rating of international standards institutions. I don't want to mention any name of the institutions. They are not following OBE.
Correct.
Okay, sir. So that is also fact, sir.
So that is one thing. And another thing also, one side, the NEP is putting a lot of efforts on Indian knowledge systems, IKS and all those things.
Okay,
on the other side, we are saying follow Bloom's taxonomy, which is done by a foreigner or Western, something like that. Outcome-based education and all those things. How far they are in coherence, also I don't know. Right? So we are saying one side, language, all the subjects, engineering subjects and all should be taught in a mother tongue language. Now books are, all engineering books are also coming in the local language. Now every day we are seeing AICTE mails and all books are released in Odia language, Marathi language, something like that. At the same time, we are saying Bloom's taxonomy, which is in English, right?
Sir, the medium that we can change it, sir, but we can't change the originator or inventor, sir.
Right.
That's okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Right. From my side, it is okay. And your presentation is really excellent. I don't know whether I can ask it or not. Your slides, can it be shared with us, sir?
I will share to the organizer probably.
Organizer. Yeah, you share to organizer, madam will give it to us. No problem.
Sure, sir. No
Thank
doubt.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I already committed. I want to be a learner rather than.
That's all. What is there in that? Keeping it with us. Don't share as much as possible.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Good.
Thank you, sir. Good.
Thank you. Ma'am, I will send the PDF copy. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Just if you permit me, I will complete only one slide, that is acknowledgement.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. 1 minute. So this is the acknowledgement, due acknowledgement to various speakers which I have attended over a period of time, and NPTEL course material which I referred, and my faculties, the IQAC faculty members who prepared the slides on behalf of me. And thank you.
Thank you, sir. Actually, it was very nice. I have attended a workshop, sir. 3 days workshop conducted by Ashok Tiwari, sir. AICTE exams reformation policy. In that also, that exam reformation policy also based upon only Bloom's taxonomy. Actually, they are insisting the faculty members to set up our question papers, which is in higher order thinking skills, what you said. So we have to use the action verbs for analyzing or for evaluating or for calculating the circuits or something else they are insisting us. But the problem is, if you have attended the workshops or like the session what you have taken, then only I think faculty member came to know that when explain is used in second level, that is second level of Bloom's taxonomy, and what is going to happen when it is used on the third level or fourth level. The same explained word we can use it in the second, third, fourth level also, but the meaning what the faculty is expecting from the student is based upon the understanding level of the faculty only, I think, because the same verb, if you are using explain the Kirchhoff's law, that is going to be simply you are going to state the Kirchhoff's law, that's all. Whatever be the formulas associated with that we can do. But giving a circuit and you have to apply the Kirchhoff's law and then explain when you are changing the source what is happening on the circuit. Like that, if you are asking, that is going to be in the analyzed part. So that kind of explanation, I think it's faculty get when you are presentation, because you have taken a very good choice of stating the Kirchhoff's law. You have started your Kirchhoff's law from the level 1 to level 5. So now also I am getting clarified that I can use my Kirchhoff's law circuit. That circuit in that I can apply the Kirchhoff's law for the higher order levels also.
Earlier, I thought of course, thanks for your, this particular discussion, ma'am. Earlier, I thought of using the same action verb for all, but I think I don't want to, disturb this particular, session with all the, informations. If they want, they can try it. Like when you say explain, demonstrate, and all that, we can do. Of course, it's very happy to, joyful to learn all these things also. Yes.
We can play wonders with the Bloom's taxonomy verbs. Yes. If actually we have to know the meaning, in what way, in what position we are going to apply that verb. So based upon that, we have a lot of things to do. After attending that workshop only, I came to know that. Now I am listening to your session, then only I came to understand that, the same Kirchhoff's law we can apply for all levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Like that, this kind of awareness faculty will get when they are attending these kind of sessions only. So that's why we have chosen this topic also, sir.
Okay. But anyway, it's order of the day, ma'am. We should go with this stream, implementing OBE and understand Bloom's taxonomy and all that. I think Mr. Muthukumar raised the hand. I don't know.
Yeah. Muthukumar, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm having a different question here.
Yes,
like
sir.
All the faculty members, they may not be well versed with the meaning of the question, what they are actually framing. They simply go by the first word of the question and they frame it. And many times I feel that what they have to do it is just understand the meaning of the question, then only it will be appropriate to put the level of question.
Yes,
so what mechanism, my question is like, what mechanism we can build in the institutions to make this practice of making right questions all the time?
Of course, sir. Thanks for this question, Muthukumar, sir. As a principal, I'm looking for that particular software. so that I can make our faculty ease of doing this. Just we can give the question, I mean, area, the software can give the question. It's very tricky, sir, because this is what I would say, this is an open-end, the question that you are asked. We can't, maybe I can't say we can't, with respect to time limit, we can't give any particular, say, procedural step through which we can form a question. What we can suggest is, these all are the do's and don'ts for making the question. I mean, while doing a question, this kind of a mistake we should not do. This is the way we can try. So like that, it's a combination of do's and don'ts we have to do. So that is the way I will think it up, sir, because it is ever expanding. For example, this Kirchhoff law, I have used only Kirchhoff law, but madam used one action verb. Same can be used for different levels of Bloom taxonomy. So where this word is being placed, whether this word, I mean, the remaining words of the sentence in the question makes a lot of sense. That means a lot of differences. So if this is possible, maybe any of the teaching fraternity, they should not fed up with all these jargons. If they try with do's and don'ts, the combination of do's and don'ts, probably we can give some procedural step wherein we can guide the faculty to do this way, so that at least without any mistakes, they can land up with a particular level. So that is what my personal understanding, sir.
Yes, I understand it, like freshly joined faculty members will struggle a lot, whereas
True. Whatever you
the
say,
experienced faculty members can help the other faculty members. That could be the one mechanism.
sir, it's the order of the day. Every individual should work as a team.
Yes.
Either whether writing the COs or handling the students. Anyway, they should form a team. Earlier, we should not show the notes to others. Now the order is we should collaborate with each other, and we should accommodate. So that is the order.
Definitely, definitely. You answered my question. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other queries from the participant side?
Participants, if you have any queries, kindly ask. Actually, sir, when people attending these kind of workshops, when they came to know about each and everything, they have the self-interest. After, if they have a self-interest only, they can learn. Anyway, even though we are in teaching for more than 23 years, 24 years, still every day we are learning something, because after the national education policy, after the AICTE exam reformations, after whatever be the new things they are implementing, like OBE, so every day we are learning something, and we have to update ourselves. That's only we go for this title, actually, particularly why we go for accreditation and outcome based pedagogic principles for effective learning. Now what are all the educational revolutions happen in the teaching field, what are all the things faculty has to know. That's why we have chosen this title for submitting this proposal, sir. Actually,
it is order of the day. That is what I said in a single sentence. We should move with this stream.
Yes, sir.
Of course, it is easy. Against the stream, we need to put a lot of effort. But I can give some inputs to participants and as well as all of us, even for me also. I can think as like the question banks, when we prepare a question bank, we should be thorough. I mean, we should check doubly whether this with respect to this particular Bloom taxonomy or not. Like that, we can think over it. We can do one thing. And next is, there won't be any hard and fast rule is being followed in the autonomous institutions. For instance, there are certain institutions, they will ask the question paper setters, your question should be fall between K1 to K4. Like that, they are giving. That means the higher order thinking is only limited to K4 level only. So like that, question paper setters are being given instructions, number one. And number two is question paper setters, many times they are not aware the level of either in terms of action verb confusions or in terms of their own learners level. For example, when the question paper is set by the IIT's process, their level of learners is something different. But whereas the same question paper is set by our own nearby institution process, their learners level is something different. So, in order to avoid this particular difficulties, many of the autonomous institutions they ask the Bloom's taxonomy being clearly mentioned before setting the question papers. It's not just like getting the question paper with Bloom's taxonomy level. They'll guide the question paper setters to restrict their the levels with respect to within the K1, K2, K3, K4 level.
Yes, sir. Actually, what that private universities think, sir, when we go for that K5, K6 level, the students need time because we are using that old summative assessments only. Still, we are using summative assessments. So, in the summative assessments, students can't able to design a circuit. So, they can evaluate, they can calculate, but designing or developing a circuit or synthesizing a circuit takes much time. We know that. So due to time limitation, what they are in the starting itself insisting us to do the questions only in K1 to K4 level. So if we go beyond K5, K6, what they ask, you use K5, K6 as an assignment. Give them as a open-ended assignments or give them as a project or give them as a simulation work. So like that, you develop your circuit using MATLAB or some other softwares and evaluate that, give more weightage for assignment. So nowadays, what they are insisting as for CO attainment and all, instead of calculating the CO attainment mainly from the summative examinations, if you do some formative assessments like this projects, mini projects or simulations or some other things or case study like that, if you give with K5 and K6 level, we can give more weightage like that. That expert members generally suggesting us to do.
Yes, ma'am. That is also possible, and it is not a major mistakes. For example, if the faculty misuse the words, misunderstand the words, for setting the levels of K1, K2, K3, it is not a mistake at all. It is the duty of maybe in terms of the curriculum is concerned, even the question paper is concerned, before giving to the learners, student, somebody has to check it, like syllabus recommendation body, board of studies or something like that. And similarly, question paper scrutiny is there. So all these people, please ensure, they should ensure before it land to the learners, so that we can avoid it. So that is the way we can go with that. And otherwise, if at all anything is there, no problem. But it should not be abyssidal. That is what I think Surya Prakash Raju sir said. Asked. This is the mundane work normally people are afraid to do, and it is very difficult at this juncture, particularly in the younger generation teaching fraternity. They are coming for teaching, so rather giving importance to how best we can make the younger generation for teaching field. We are giving all these stuffs. That means before they want to know the methodology, how we can explain the Kirchhoff law in a better way with respect to the moods of the student on particular day is concerned. They are spending more time on CO, PO and all that. So that is also a notable point. But this is limitation and challenges we have to face. So
maybe they are introducing performance indicators also now, sir. So
Yes,
that also we have to understand the performance indicator itself. It's a very tough job, sir, for a faculty member who are newly entered in this field. If they have more than 15 years, 20 years experience only, they can understand how to use the performance indicator, how to use for the question which performance indicator they can put, like that. They should understand first. So that kind of difficulties are there when they come into that new level of changes in question papers, as well as that attainment, accreditation, everything has been changed much, sir.
yes, sir.
Vivekanandha sir,
Actually,
now this
yeah,
Bloom's taxonomy we are using for the cognitive domain, correct?
yes, sir.
But
Yes,
what
sir.
about other domains, taxonomies and all? Are we using it, or
Sir,
like psychomotor domain and
sir,
affective
this and
domain?
this and all, you just told that this is very
Yeah, this
troublesome
itself is tough.
process. It's not able to do that. Then
Okay,
how we can go with affirmative and
affective.
psychomotor, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, of course, we can go, sir.
Yeah.
Nobody will, recommendation is at least you follow
Bloom's
cognitive,
taxonomy.
because that is a very uniformly agreed that at least one this cognitive skills is expected, because psychomotor there are a lot of constraint.
Okay.
We can't make the student to do that and observe, and finally, yes, he can ability to do that. For instance, I can quote. See, when you ask the student to dismantle the entire motor and assemble it, so that they can understand what all are the components involved, and we can assess the psychomotor skill of the student learner, right? But just imagine how much time is required to dismantle and assemble and all that. So there are other spatial constraint and as well as time constraint. Probably that might be the reason they stick to with the only cognitive domain.
Oh.
Ma'am, actually, I don't want to, of course, instantly, this is the last session of an
Yes,
online
sir. Yes, sir.
and today's session. So I want to make a very small brief, keep it short and sweet.
Yes,
So
sir.
that
It's
is
a
what.
very nice presentation only, sir. It's simple and sweet only. Faculty will listen and they will understand, sir.
Absorb it.
Sorry, sir.
No, simple and sweet only. People can absorb it and see.
Yeah.
One side we are saying any lecture should be not more than 18 minutes or 20 minutes and all. Correct.
Yes.
Okay, but since we are conducting a faculty development program, maybe as per the AICTE recommendations, it is 2 hours. Correct. Right.
Participants, do you want to interact with sir? Or otherwise, shall I wind up this session? Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation and delivering the
Thank you, ma'am.
excellent speech, sir. I would like to thank you once again on behalf of Ahmed University as well as Department of EEE. When I approach you, immediately you accept. You are in a principal position. I know how tough you are spending time to prepare these kind of PPTs and all. I know even though you are very busy with your schedule, you accepted our invitation and joined us and explained us in a very well manner. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you. I think convey my greetings to Sasikala ma'am also. I think Sasikala ma'am,
Sure, sir.
I joined here or not, that I don't know, but I convey my greetings to her also. And thanks to Amit University and all the members and all the participants for the patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
So participants, kindly fill the feedback link which I have posted in the chat box, and also the assessment link is also provided. So kindly submit the assessment test on or before tomorrow morning 10 a.m.
So kindly complete your assessment, which is going to be evaluated. This is for online session. What you have studied so far, the 6 days session, based upon the 6 day session only the questions framed. So kindly do the assessment and submit your answers. Similarly, fill your feedback link, which is posted in the chat box. Thank you, participants. Herewith, we are winding up the online sessions. This is the last day of the online session. I hope you all people will come to our venue, that is Amat University. So I once again welcome you all for our Amat University campus. So from Monday onwards, we are going to meet you in person. Again, from Monday onwards, we have 2 sessions, morning as well as afternoon. Then we have a visit also. We have a report presentation. So we have so many jobs to do on the next week. I invite you all for our university campus. Kindly come to our university, attend the offline session also, because if you are attending 1 week in online, 1 week you should be there in our university. Then only you will get the attendance. You will get your certificate also. Thank you very much once again for the participants. I am eagerly waiting to meet you all in Monday.
Okay, madam, we'll meet on Monday. Offline session.
Yes, sir.
Rajeshri madam, I have a general technical question. So this form, Google, what do you call assessment link you are given, na? Once you close this,
Yes, sir.
assessment link what you have provided, it will go away once you close it, correct? Then in that case, I have to save this link and put it somewhere and then open it later, correct?
Yes, sir.
But
Otherwise,
just now
I will share
Sir,
the
we will post the link in our group also. WhatsApp group also, we will post the link. No issue.
Okay, ma. Right.
Madam Rajeshri, you put feedback link as
Yes,
well as assessment link in the WhatsApp group also.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, madam. Kindly ensure that participants are coming on Monday. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Call to the participants and inform them to come on Monday session. Okay, madam?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, ma. Thank you. Thank you for all the participants.